All right, folks, and it looks like we are all ready to go with Shovel Knight, Plague of Shadows. So I'm going to throw it over to MunchaKoopas and the lovely couch commentators Gedrith and J-Ops.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
All right, Hobbs, what was my final
Hi.
bid on armor color?
Oh, let me check with our host real quick. Hold on. So it's looking like it's going to be green.
Thank you.
By
mysterious
$30.
host man. A and
Oh, hi, J.
Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, man?
I, A, B. All right.
I approve of this file name. Solid file name.
Okay, I'm good to go. We're good? Okay, then in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, I'm gonna skip a bunch of text here and then these guys are gonna fly away. I am bursting with excitement to play Plague Knight today. Plague Knight can jump and double jump and burst to go really fast. I can also throw 3 bombs in the air. More on all the combat stuff later. If you haven't seen Shovel Knight by this point in your life at a speedrun marathon, what are you even doing with yourself? I mean, come on.
Plague Knight's super cool because even though they stuck with all the Shovel Knight stages, because of Plague Knight's completely unique kit and the way that he moves around, they actually have a completely different feel than they do when going through as Shovel Knight.
Alright, so in order to break blocks and damage enemies, I of course need to use bombs. And the bomb burst ability actually hits in a 1 block wide area around Plague Knight, at least to the left and right. It also gives you some brief invincibility if you're moving through hazards like lava. And sometimes movement can be a pain through blocks.
Yeah, especially in the air, the bombs actually shoot diagonally. So as you saw there, it was kind of trolling him a little bit, not quite hitting the slime because of it.
Alright, into the washing machine and up.
I always thought they were furnaces.
Well, I call them washing machines. Alright, coming up at the end of this screen is a screen wrap or a zip or something. I don't really know what it is. The point is there's a lack of collision, so I can do this. Skip a few rooms.
That was so beautiful.
I'm sure that's the only glitch you found in this game.
Oh, we're going to get to that later on.
He definitely doesn't test for them now or anything. 'Cause
No.
He broke it so badly.
Alright, this is Black Knight. Ideally, I'm going to get a really nice pattern here, but we'll see what happens. And wait, and throw, and throw. Ah, broke out. I was too far to the right.
Yeah, he was trying to actually stun lock the boss there, as well as finishing him on the right edge of the screen, so that way he wouldn't have to run like all the way across the screen. Now he's kind of just going to deal with what he gets. And at least Black Knight's ending on the right side of the screen here.
Eh. I haven't played this game in a week, so.
Been too busy, man. Staying up and making tech work and stuff like that.
Alright, where am I going next? I'm going to the village. We're going to meet Mona, our lovely lady friend. So Shovel Knight is welcome in the village. Plague Knight, not so much. And they gotta make me enter my lair through this awkward area. I don't know what this guy's doing with all these explosive barrels next to his house, but that was a very poor decision. So rip the house he grew up in.
You don't know, man. He might have just moved there last summer.
No, if you talk to that NPC after doing that, he literally says, "So much for the house I grew up in."
Okay, well, maybe you do know then.
I love this transition so much.
Yeah, definitely.
They never cease to amaze and nauseate. Alright, having a little trouble with my inputs here. Alright, Pridemore Keep is a very simple level. In this very first room, I just want to make sure I beat a local cycle on some falling lava. Hey, we did it. We're the best. Alright, I should mention that you can charge your burst through screen transitions. So sometimes in a certain strat, we'll try to just like throw ourselves at a screen transition. We being runners of Plague Knight. Anyway.
Another basic mechanic to note is that he does have a double jump, as you can see, but that double jump doesn't refresh through screen transitions. It only refreshes if you touch the ground.
Yeah.
So you can carry your momentum through the double jump, the momentum you got from the burst, but you sometimes need to touch the ground in order to refresh that double jump.
Yeah, and you might be wondering how I'm able to charge another burst or bigger burst in general without throwing a bomb. Anytime that you're holding that button, that burst will be charging even through cutscenes or load zones. And after you release a burst, if you then immediately press the button again, you start charging again.
It's very much akin to like the Mega Man charge shot.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've never played a game with any other character that has movement like this. The closest one I can think of is, I think it's Magical Poppin'. I think so.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, when Yacht Club Games was developing this campaign, they actually like talked with some speedrunners, right?
Yeah, actually, I was one of the alpha testers for this campaign, as well as my friend Taiwan Ninja, and we offered just some feedback on the item stuff that they had in place, and general movement. A lot of Plague's movement, actually, has stayed exactly the same since the early alpha days. I'm actually getting a really good fight here.
Yeah, the main thing with King Knight is that when he gets near that wall, Munch can throw the bombs at the wall and then make sure they land right on King Knight, and that was a great fight.
And then dance on him. Yeah, dancing on him.
Do we have a moment for a couple of donations?
I think we do.
All right. We've got $20 from CMM1215. It says, "Hey, Muncha, just wishing you luck. Stoked for your run and excited to catch up at SGDQ. P.S. Thanks for helping make King Knight awesome."
Welcome.
Also got $1 from Skyfo. It says, "Greetings from France. Really enjoying this marathon so far. Good luck on your run, Muncha."
Thank you.
And very quickly, $50 from Delta62 for Chivalry.
Remember to meet the Troupple King dance.
Yeah, we got a ways to go, but we got some time, folks.
You have another about 30 minutes or so to, no, 40 minutes roughly to get the Troupple King and send him met. Alright, moving through the Lich Yard. Most of the enemies here I'm going to completely ignore by flying over. The only ones that are really going to cause any trouble are the frogs at various points, just because the frogs' movement is completely up to them. Like, they don't have a set pattern or anything, is essentially what I mean. There's also these dark rooms, but I mean, if you play this game as much as I do, they may as well be lit up completely.
So you see there's a bunch of like green coins floating around. You can actually collect those and buy upgrades. Do you actually go for any specific upgrades in the route, or just go through
none
normal?
of these Cypher coins are ever spent. They are only spent on like bomb and burst upgrades, and I never actually buy any of those in any percent. I only need gold to buy one relic, or Arcana as Plague Knight, the Plague of Shadows campaign calls them. And I also need to buy 2 magic upgrades.
Does a nice job of getting that bonehead, taking care of that frog. As he said, the way the frogs jump is random, so it can be a little tricky to deal with them sometimes.
Yeah, and so the skill of running Plague Knight just comes down to really memorizing a burst pattern for every single level and trying to stick to the most optimal pattern. And then if you get off the pattern, just knowing how... ooh, good thing
How
I
to
got
not
that
fall
checkpoint.
in pits.
Exactly. That actually happened because I released my burst button too soon. That's okay. That's fixable.
Is that... Yeah, that money's going to matter, isn't it? Yeah, so the tricky thing is because of those upgrades that Muncha was talking about, the magic upgrades that he buys and the Staff of Striking that he gets, he has to actually worry about his money route throughout most of the run, right up until about probably the 75% mark or so.
Yeah, and as you just saw, I bursted on the screen transition to get up to this area, which makes this fight a little bit faster.
Yeah, the teleports here are, the first one is consistent, it'll always go into that bottom left corner, and the next one is random, so when Spectre Knight teleports here again, Muncha does not know which side he'll be on, and he got lucky. He guessed on the left side and was able to deal a lot of damage there. And then a few more bomb throws, that was great.
Thank you. Right. If you're wondering what these things are that are coming out of the bosses, the story of this game is essentially Plague Knight is trying to craft the ultimate potion to get something that he wants. And each knight has an essence that is a required ingredient for this potion. I forget what they're all named. Like, I remember Treasure Knight's essence is the essence of avarice. I think King's is like the essence of pride or something.
Yeah, I think they're all based off of a deadly sin.
Oh, that makes sense.
And
Yeah, so
then-
there you go. You turned in an essence there, and he'll continue to do that throughout the rest of the Knights from the Order and No Quarter.
Yeah, and as you saw, I then got a health potion from Mona. Plague of Shadows is probably one of the more beginner-friendly routes just because it gives you mandatory health upgrades. during the run. And a lot of people really like the movement over Shovel and Spectre. My personal favorite is still Shovel. So in Explodatorium, I want to meet certain global cycles, ideally, so that I can move quickly through the level. More so, or more importantly than that in this level, is I need to be at certain health thresholds at certain points in the level in order to do the fastest strats.
Yeah, because at the end of this level, this is actually Plague Knight's stage from the Shovel Knight campaign. So at the end of this level, you're going to fight, spoilers, Shovel Knight. And Shovel Knight can use the relics that he has access to, you know, in his normal campaign. And so if you're at certain health thresholds, he actually won't use certain relics. So it's very important that Muncha, you know, is able to be below 2 hearts of health.
Also think it's pretty funny that Shovel Knight uses relics they shouldn't even have at this point in the story.
That is true.
Yeah.
He does have the Warhorn. They added the Warhorn because it has the ability to break those black stone blocks in the boss fight, and no other item that Shovel Knight has that capability. Fun fact, the horn used by Shovel Knight in the boss fight is actually, it has a reduced hit box than the regular Warhorn. That was to make it a little bit more fair for the player. Take some intentional damage from this fire, also makes moving through this section a little bit easier. You can grab this ladder off screen because there's no blockers there to stop you. And
This is always nice. Charging that burst through the loading transition again.
Yeah, the item I just picked up is called a Health Tonic, which I can use via my gear menu, and that will restore 1 health point as well as give me 1 bonus health bubble. I had to go back to take damage, and now we are into the Shovel Knight fight. I really hope this fight doesn't bug out on me, because if you mash too fast, you actually don't throw any bombs at all. So I'm just going to walk over to the corner here and then mash my bomb throw button and hope for the best.
All right, and he took that hit intentionally so that it'd be under 2 hearts. This means that Shovel Knight will not use the relic that gives him invulnerability, which is a huge time waster in this. As you can see, otherwise this stun lock works incredibly well. Nice job, Muncha.
Thank you. I actually got, after you deal 7 damage to Shovel Knight, he heals with a Troupple King Ichor. And if he uses the Warhorn right before that and you continue damaging him, you skip you skip his chance to use the Ichor, so he does not heal. So I saved even more time than you would normally. Also, because I'm using a color code, Shovel Knight's color will change in this cutscene and the cutscene after the boss rush. If you were wondering why he suddenly changed from blue to purple.
I always love that they make Shovel Knight win that fight.
Yeah, it's like universe-wise, this is a side story that happens alongside Shovel Knight's campaign. Alright, and then Reese will move out of the way. Small side story on Reese and the other Wandering Travelers. In Shovel Knight's campaign and Plague of Shadows, they are hard-coded in now to only spawn or only move to certain spots on the map within a certain number of in-game minutes. And that was a request put in specifically by me and other speedrunners so that we could still enjoy the game, like actually playing the game, and not just lose countless minutes to the map enemies blocking our path.
It is nice to actually give out a shout out to Yacht Club. They do a lot to help out a lot of speedrunners and keep the game pretty well patched.
Yeah, they do a lot of things that are always for our benefit, at least. And I'm really happy that we get to work so closely with them as a community.
Alright, now this area, as you might have been able to garner, is the gimmick is that you're underwater, and thus you float to the ground a lot slower. Because your primary mode of transit involves bursting into the air and using double jumps, that can actually mean that optimizing this level can be pretty difficult at certain sections where you want to make sure that you're not falling forever while waiting to get to the ground so you can refresh a double jump. Now there is a potential 1 cycle for this little mini-boss here that Muncha will try to go for. See if he gets it. It's looking good so far. Oh. Oh. I might have cursed it. Oh, okay. Barely. We're counting it.
We take those.
It's still a 1 cycle.
If you ever see me doing any small, like, left-right movements in the air, I'm actually just trying to correct my landing position. Other runners are much better at that than I am, and they generally don't have to correct their position. But I'm trying to stick to, like I said earlier, I'm trying to stick to certain patterns so I know where I'm going to land. With Plague, more so than the other two characters, you really have to think like 3 steps ahead as far as where you're going to land, not only with your current jump, but in like 2 jumps from now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. It's okay.
Hit was a little scary, but he landed on the platform, so he's
I'm used to it. I was hoping I should have gotten damage boosted to the right there because I needed that money. I should be all right later on, though. I have some backup strats prepared.
Yeah, he's got 2 benchmarks that he's looking for, and I believe the first is 9,600?
So really, like, I use a slightly different route than the other runners to get, because I don't like carrying my gold around with me as long as possible. So I'm actually want to be at 8,000 right now, so I'm only 100 short. I did not want Treasure Knight to go up here, but hey, they can't all be winners.
Which is funny because in Shovel Knight, it's actually pretty handy if he goes to the top of the screen if you're able to get on top of him.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, in both campaigns, you don't want to kill Treasure Knight at the top of the screen, because the level does not end until Treasure Knight hits the ground. So if you kill him at the top of the screen, it takes like 7 seconds for him to fall. Anyhow, next up is Lost City. Honestly, one of the harder levels, I think, for Plague, just because there's so many pits you can fall into and so many different ways you can lose time through all of these rooms.
We've got a $2 donation from Explode Your Ear, who says, Explode! Loves Big Boom. Good luck on your run, Muncha. Let's hit that $800.
Thanks, Explode.
And remember, that $800 is for the Travel King dance, and we'll need to be hitting that near the end of the run, so work on it, folks. Make it happen.
Nice, both blocks with 1 bomb. Just gonna not kill that guy with a bomb. I'll write that up on Tuesday. Gonna wait here, even though you can beat that fire cycle. I'd rather not take a bath in lava. I've already showered today.
Yeah, this section is actually, more or less an auto-scroller. There's 2 people auto-scrollers in this level in each campaign, and the thing I love about this game is that you can skip them in one form or another in all 3 campaigns.
Shovel Knight is actually really impressive. It is actually worth to look it up later.
And over here. Alright, gotta be careful here. I don't bomb the wrong thing.
Yeah, because these blocks do, as soon as they take damage, basically anything that you use that takes damages enemies will cause the blocks to explode. So you have to be careful about where you throw your bombs and where you burst.
Yeah, fun fact, at Yacht Club Games, we internally refer to those specific blocks as Poyo blocks.
Poyo blocks?
Yeah. Because they all explode in a row.
Alright, yeah, has to be careful not to spam the bombs there. Another little minor mechanic about the bombs that we haven't really touched on yet is that you can throw 3 quickly in a row in a pattern. So it's basically like 1, 2, 3, and then you kind of have to like wait a little moment. But if you double jump after throwing that, it immediately refreshes that like little internal cooldown. So throughout a lot of the bosses especially, but even just through normal movement, Muncha's been conscious of like when he double jumps in relation to those bomb throws. Trying to hit the boss here, Mole Knight, twice during each dash, and now he's going to try to finish him off before he can go underground. It's going to be close, and okay, nice. He finished it off very well.
The moles will not go hungry tonight.
Once that mole goes underground, it's a pain because he pops up in a random location that does have a tell for it, but you still have to be, very quick to react, and it just wastes time.
Feast, my minions. Fun fact, if you get out of this room, you can actually watch them carry Mole Knight out, like into that hallway that leads into Mole Knight's room, and they just stop and disappear at one point.
Really?
Yeah. So the whole plot of this game is that Plague Knight and Mona have crushes on each other, but they won't admit it. So the scene we just had was like them having a shy moment and Plague being nervous about holding hands with her.
Yeah, for those who don't realize, this is actually a high school teen drama.
Yes. All right, my next stop is the flying machine. I'm going there because I want the item from this level. We're about halfway through the run, so be sure to get donations in for the Troupple King incentive.
Yeah, we're still kind of. Well, let me check in with our host and see how we're doing on that. Yes, we are currently sitting at $263.40 out of $800. So ways to go, folks. But we've got a lot of you in chat here. Even if everybody just donated $1 or $2, we would fly right past that incentive. So let's make it happen. Now, the Arcana that you actually get from this level, well, rather, the relic that you would normally get from this level as Shovel Knight is the Flying Dagger. And the way the Arcana purchases in this game work is that if you can find the relic that Shovel Knight gets in his campaign, you can actually turn it in to get the Arcana for Plague for free or for a reduced price later on. And because that would be too far out of the way, that is why Muncha's had to worry about his treasure so particularly here. And it has to now make the purchase for the Staff of Striking, which is Plague Knight's Arcana that he can get from the same vendor.
Use the fan to get over here a little quicker.
There it is, Staff of Striking. So the staff is incredibly useful for high DPS, for using it on bosses basically, because at the cost of that power meter that you see on the top of your screen, it'll quickly swing the staff to deal damage to the boss, and it is like one of the highest DPS things you can do, especially in a run as fast as any %.
Excellent.
That is like the worst Jawa room, right?
That one's okay. More people are annoyed by this one because they don't know how to avoid like not getting this guy in the right spot. There you go.
Nice. The Jawas are like somewhat random, but also somewhat determined on your position, as far as I understand.
So they don't move until they appear on screen, and then they will move near you and then turn around and close the fan. No one has any idea what determines exactly where they go. They are literally only programmed to move toward you and do something. There's no like set position or anything for them.
And obviously the way that they blow you with the fan can greatly impact your, position, where you land, stuff like that.
Ooh, I actually need...
I
need to go back down.
Oh, okay.
I forgot money.
Yeah, he's a little short, so he's got to pick up this gem over here.
Actually, I would have been fine, so I just wasted 15 seconds, now that I've realized.
Nice.
And wait. And go.
Yeah,
Hey.
gimmick for this room is wind, and it's really scary sometimes to make sure you don't hit the spikes on the ceiling. Okay, or that you get on the ledge in time.
Yeah, the bomb throw also pushes you up a little bit, so you can kind of use it to save yourself in certain situations. Hi, Propeller Knight.
Propeller Knight's a kind of tricky fight. He has different phases that he'll move into at different health barriers, basically, or kind of the ways you attack him. And Staff of Striking takes care of him at the top of the screen very easily, though.
Perfect. I saved every single frame.
I was waiting if that reference was going to get in here.
Shoutouts to our buddy Tolu, the former world record holder and still probably one of the best plague runners, the best plague runner in the world probably, or at least the most experienced. But he once, on stream, he got a gold split on a level he hadn't gold split in quite a while, and he just shouted, "Perfect! I saved every single frame." And then I think everyone in the community started using that as their gold split sound.
All right, we got a couple of people trying to help us get towards that Travel King dance incentive. Got Tenmachi dropping big hundo, saying, "That dance, though, got to make it happen. Come on, people, let's blow it up." We got $5 coming from Explosion saying, "Dance, my minions, dance." Now, this is Black Knight 2. You actually, in Shovel Knight, you could have 3 Black Knight fights, but you generally only want 2 in the speedrun, whereas with Plague Knight, you actually have to fight him all 3 times. He does have a similar stun lock to the first visit, or first, fight with him, but it's a little more difficult, and I believe Muncha does these Black Knight fights differently from a lot of the runners anyways.
I'm actually having a lot of trouble with input lag. My bombs are coming out like a quarter of a second after I push the button, and it's very annoying right now.
And it does not help that Black Knight could swing your bombs right back at you.
Yeah.
So I got a question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite knight in this game?
Pass.
I like Polar Knight. He's like the kind of like under the radar one, you know?
Actually, I'm going to say Propeller Knight because his fight is easy.
All right, cool, cool. Good answers. Good answers.
Controversial opinion, I would imagine.
Obviously, the best one's Tinker Knight because he's adorable and then has a giant robot.
Turning the map there, Muncha?
I routed wrong.
Ah.
I have screwed up royally.
Okay.
So we're just going to continue. So normally I would have full magic and not 10,500 gold right now. This is still fine, provided I don't die in a stupid place and lose all my money.
Yeah, I mean, as you've seen from the first death that we had in this run, and as if you're familiar with the game, you know that money actually, you lose money on death and it floats out in the world. Now the problem is because of the way that you move with Plague Knight throughout all these levels and stuff, sometimes that means that that money can end up over a pit, and it can be really hard to recover, as well as just being slow to recover in general. And Stranded Ship is a very difficult level in pretty much every campaign, but especially in Shovel and Plague, so it's very easy to potentially take a death here. Luckily, Munch is doing pretty well so far. The big thing is that obviously the pits are instant death, but so are the spikes that are littered throughout this level. And so many of the checkpoints are just slightly out of the way enough that you really don't want to stop and grab them. So it just compounds on how costly that death can already be. Woo.
Oops, oops, oops. All right.
All right, looking pretty good. This is kind of the last scary bit here with all of these spikes that you need to knock the snow onto or you'll die, unless you can also damage boost off an enemy. And so that is pretty good. You're going to take the safety little health upgrade here because you do want to take some damage boost in this next boss fight. Bomb throws to start out. Polar Knight will uncover spikes on the ground here when he does this attack, and thus you really need to make sure that you don't land on those without having first taken damage. And that was a great fight, especially for having to, on the fly remember that you had half magic.
Yeah, like there are strats for all this, and I just don't know them. I'll be honest.
Well, it's kind of like it's a route preference, but also obviously, minor speed differences, whether you're going to purchase early or purchase late, right? So being someone who's more familiar with purchasing early, having to adapt on the fly can be tricky. But now I'm going to remind you to go ahead and buy those upgrades.
Thank you.
Yeah, so here we go. Look at the power meter at the top. There it goes. Increase into 3 bars and now 4. And that is the final purchase that we'll make in the run. Got all the upgrades we need.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe the main reason you did the route difference there is that you really want that magic for a quicker kill on Tinker Knight, right?
Yeah, regardless of when you get the magic, you want it for Tinker Knight mainly, as well as just the boss rush later on in the run. Because the Staff of Striking just saves so much time on all of the bosses.
Now, the thing about Tinker Knight is it has some, it has a lot of cycle stuff, but like a lot of the other levels, but it also has some kind of auto-scrolly bits that, luckily with Plague Knight, you can completely avoid most of them. And again, the other campaigns have ways to do it as well, but Plague Knight just, from his inherent kit, can generally skip them. We got one coming up pretty soon. Yeah, and this is the one I was really thinking of. So you can see there's spikes on the ground, but if he takes a damage boost there from the enemy, and then on top of that can land here and just never touch the ground until he can take another damage boost, he can skip over the entire auto-scroller. And I love the Yacht Club games just put those enemies there, knowing that somebody was going to be crazy enough to try that kind of thing.
Oh, they actually didn't think that at all.
Let me give them more credit.
I'm sorry.
They totally didn't just put them there to screw you over when the platform got there. They did it intentionally.
All Alright, here's another auto-scroller, so if we have any donations or plugs or anything, feel free.
We do indeed. We've got a $20 donation from Clouder with no comment, but thank you very much. And we're almost halfway to that incentive for the Tropical King, and we're over halfway through this run. So, folks, we really got to work on that to make it happen. We're also getting closer to $21,000, which would push us a full grand over our initial goal. I would love to see that happen before the end of this run. We've also got Hat in Time incentive coming up later, which is to equip the sunglasses. That's sitting at 159.69 out of 300.
Oops. I actually didn't mean to burst over in that direction. I thought I was holding neutral input.
That's okay. Luckily,
The best song is short-lived.
luckily the first phase of Tinker Knight isn't too bad. The second phase is really where that magic comes into play. He's going to want to try to get a kill on Tinker Knight here before he slides off screen. And or rather for the second time, before he slides off screen twice. And this is where it really needs to happen. Some of these bomb throws have missed. That's going to be risky, but worked out nicely, so nice job. I always get scared when bomb throws miss, even if you're just using it to stall yourself in the air.
I do too. As you can see, since my magic meter is blown out, I actually used all of my magic to get that kill.
Yeah, if he had been even one more half heart away, there was a decent chance that he was going to lose time from the boss moving off screen. That is actually an important thing to note about the way that bar works, is that it will automatically regenerate, unlike the magic in Shovel Knight. However, if you spend it completely, then you cannot use anything again until it refills all the way to max. So a lot of the times you want to get it down to almost completely expended and then let it refill a bit so that you can use it again.
Alright, we're down to the last 3 levels. So get your donations in now. And
Would you be doing that post-run? Tropical King?
Yes, I'd be doing that post-run. There's actually a glitch showcase after this, which was met.
Yeah.
So you even have the glitch showcase to get donations in. Meanwhile, I'm going to move through Tower 1, which will feature things from every single level I've seen so far. And it's designed to test everything you may have learned about Shovel Knight or Plague Knight up to this point.
And it's also designed to destroy the bitrate of any live stream.
Correct.
Alright, now this section is kind of an auto-scroller in that you have to wait on these pressure cycles, but I believe there's a kind of tricky cycle. Oh, okay. There's a kind of tricky cycle that you might go for near the end, right, Muncha?
Right here? No, I just do standard stuff.
Okay.
Like you can skip a cycle of this up-down by doing this.
Yeah, that one scares me, but it's not too bad.
If you are slow at all, you do get crushed by a pixel, so...
You know what? I was mixing it with Spectre Knight's campaign, now that I think about it. That's the one I was thinking of. My mistake.
There's so many good crushers, man.
Yeah.
Aha.
Staff of Striking being useful outside of bosses for one. Yeah, as you can see too, as fast as you move in the air, while you're running on the ground, you're really slow. That's why those tight corridors, even though you're bursting through them, you cut down your speed pretty quickly.
Yeah, Plague Knight has the slowest walk speed of the 3 characters thus far.
I love how the gimmick of that room barely matters if you know how to just burst and double jump. Alright, Black Knight 3. This is the most difficult of the 3, as you would imagine.
And I forgot to do the setup.
Ooh, okay, so this is going to be interesting now. He could try to go for the stun lock a bit. Now it's gone. No, not quite getting back into it. Muncha doesn't normally go for the stun lock, but he normally has his own unique setup. So he's going to try to fight him in the air here. The dives from Black Knight deal a lot of damage, as do these meteors, so he has to be careful now, sitting on only 1.5 hearts, but one more hit will do it. Nice.
Okay, I want to be over here so I avoid walking across this entire screen at the end of the level.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how the first Black Knight fight, you want Black Knight to be on the far right of the screen, and the third one you need to make sure that your character is. Alright, now we're heading into Tower 2. Gotta deal with some water physics again at the beginning. I love the way that they did the pacing of this game in these last few sections, where you get like you actually end up getting a few more auto scrollers or a few more sections like this that have the water to kind of give you that moment, that time to like reflect on the sense of like how far you come and how much this is leading up to the big battle.
Or it gives you time to stress even more before the big PB.
Exactly. See, they knew what they were doing.
I usually only get hit twice there, so that was nice.
All right, now normally you're supposed to move this, you know, rainbow. What do you even call that thing?
We just call it a rainbow statue.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh,
You're normally supposed to move that across
oh,
over the
did.
Jawa.
Cool.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
I'm all right.
Ordinarily, you'll just like sail right over that Jawa.
And that's how they control you.
Yeah. This is a nice recovery though. Yeah, we got another little auto scroller here. Again, pacing. You better get the note. The musical sheet.
Should I?
Yeah.
I should have made that an incentive.
You should get it now. Oh, what a troll.
I'm sorry. My hand slipped.
Isn't for low percent? Doesn't that like actually invalidate your run? If you
That
pick that up?
in Shovel Knight low percent, that would invalidate your run. Yes.
Those musical sheets do add percentage.
So one thing to note, you can't actually jump on top of stuff before it spawns in, I believe.
Yeah, only in this room. This room works this way because like every time a room is loaded, all of the collision is loaded, but the objects in it, like the blocks and the enemies, are not. They load in like once the screen transition finishes. But this room is actually just like 4 rooms strung together to be one really long room. So the blocks are constantly loading in, so you can actually get up on top of them or inside of them.
But it doesn't really save you any time until, well, even really at the top it doesn't, because you have to wait for the screen to finish scrolling.
It just makes it safer.
Yeah. Now we're into the boss rush here. The boss will actually come at you in a random order. The only consistent thing is that Shovel Knight will be last and Polar Knight will appear in the first 3 fights. There are orders that are a bit more, you know, nice for Muncha, especially because, again, he wants to be at below 2 health for Shovel Knight at the end, and because of like the fact that the game gives you health refills between the bosses, there are certain bosses where it's more advantageous to not take those refills or take them. That was a great Tinker Knight fight. How does Tinker First weigh in on the...
Tinker First is actually not bad because he requires a lot of magic and he actually throws off your positioning, so that's pretty good. The fact that I got Mole Knight after him is actually perfect because Mole Knight is not position dependent for you to kill him.
Yeah, and because of that, he now knows that Polar Knight will be the next one, and so he can prepare his position for it.
Yeah, Polar Knight is also not too position dependent because he'll either go to the left or the right, and then you just have to understand how to do the fight, but flipped.
The other thing is that because Muncha has those potions, he's not too worried about dying, because you can use those potions, like, even if you're in the middle of an animation or something, you just pause the game, and you can use them immediately to refill health. So if he gets to a part that's going to be, like, ultra scary, then he'll just use those for safety. But they do waste time, so he would like to not use them if he doesn't have to. Instead, rely on the in-game health refills.
I actually want to avoid the turkey at all costs in this boss rush because I don't want... Oof.
Nice.
I don't want to be at the wrong health threshold for fighting Shovel Knight.
Right. Alright, same thing with Treasure Knight here as last time. It's not too difficult of a boss fight, but we do want to finish him close to the ground or on the ground. And there's that health upgrade. Or not upgrade, but refill.
Yeah, that means optimal Shovel Knight fight is pretty much out of the window at this point.
Alright, Polar Knight can still go well though. We missed the bomb there, not going to be too bad. Not quite able to finish him off before he goes up in the air, but it's okay. Spectre Knight would have liked to land, or I don't even think you can actually start on one of those platforms, can you?
No, you can't stand on these at the start.
Okay. Same deal as the first fight. He knew that first teleport was consistent. This is the random one, and you got lucky anyways. So got lucky on both Spectre Knight fights. That's great. But then broke out a little bit. Wanted to get a few more staff of striking hits in there. And now we're on to the Shovel Knight fight, which, again, he would ideally be at 2 health or less here. But because he's not, we're going to probably see Shovel Knight use that invulnerability relic. There's the E-Core. And here we go. Yeah, this is what wastes a ton of time. Anytime you see Shovel Knight go gray like that, he is completely invulnerable. Ugh. Yeah, if you're not at low health, he is just a jerk. Oh, he's just reflecting the bombs. Alright, finished him off. Or did he? Seriously, I love that. Like, so many games, if they have a good and evil, like, campaign or whatever, they just let you rewrite the story, but I like that in this one, Shovel Knight always wins. We've got $5 from Stairmaster, no comment there, and $20 with no comment from Domo Arigato. Those are pushing Troutman Knight closer, but we are still shy of that $800 mark, people. I know that we can make it happen. Let's do it. Alright, now we're leading up to the big Enchantress fight here. Just gotta deal with these blocks. I mean, I imagine for you, Muncha, like, these are not even a concern on Plague Knight, whereas, like, with Shovel Knight, they're, like, the smallest concern, but they certainly can mess with you.
Yeah. I've played that room so many times, too.
Yeah.
I've played all of these rooms so many times. Oh no, there's no floor. Oh, I'm fine.
Now it's the infinite floor that we want to touch as little as possible. Purely to refund the double jump. Alright, now into Enchantress. If everything goes well, she will not dive under the stage at all. But even if she does, Muncha can potentially finish her off under the stage if he chooses. So he can finish her off during these dives if he's lucky. Not quite able to. And here we go, under the stage, takes the damage boost, and nice job. I'm clapping for that one. That's a hard fight.
Thank you. All right, 2 more boss fights. Time will be on the last hit of the final boss. So you have about a minute left, a minute and a half.
All right, here we go. We're using the, like, potion, or making the potion out of all the souls. Now, would you say this is the worst fight in the run?
You know what? This fight is actually kind of tough. I've been playing for a while. I think I'm just going to take a break for a moment. How are you guys doing?
I did not know that he...
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm fine. Just playing this video game right now.
How you feel like the run's going?
Oh, it's going pretty well. I mean, this will be done in a sec here. We'll just relax. How you guys doing at Tech? Good marathon? Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, wait, is this really going to do what I think it's going to do?
I don't know. We'll find out. I just wanted a break.
I don't blame you at all.
I did not know this was a thing. Maybe there's hope for you. Oh my god. Clapping for that one. Learn something new every day. That's great, dude. I like how he doesn't even hit you, like not even once.
Nope. I actually meant to make that an incentive and I forgot.
Oh man. Well, this is the final boss, and the trick with this boss is that he's actually only vulnerable in the mouth, as you can see that it's glowing there. But you can use the cauldron at the bottom, or whatever you want to call that, the washing machine. You can use break that open, break the goo open, and then hit it once to reset the boss and make him like open his mouth like this. So Muncha wants to get as much damage in as he can. Nice.
All right, we did it. Not bad.
And your final time was a 43:36.
Cool. All right. I'm going to speed through these credits to get to the glitch showcase, which was met. And then, in case anyone has any last-minute donations, we can get them in for the Tropical King dance.
Yeah, we're still sitting at $411.60 away from that one. So if you want to be the hero that gets us that dance, now's your chance. We don't have much time left at all. All right, I'm excited to watch this glitch showcase. I'm going to lean back.
Get comfy, yeah.
Because for those who don't know, like, all jokes aside, Muncha has been doing some QA work for Yacht Club games, especially on the new campaign coming up, King of Cards. But I imagine that you have continued to look into the other campaigns as well.
Yeah. So as J-Hub said, I've been working as a quality assurance tester at Yacht Club since July of last year. And I found a lot of interesting things that we didn't even know existed. So I'm going to speed along in this level to one of my favorites. This is really just a showcase of my favorites. I promise you I did not just do this as an excuse to do a stranded ship IL.
I mean, if you
get out of
did,
my
this
way.
is like the slowest IL ever.
Hey. Alright, so this rainbow platform's pretty sturdy, right? I can't hit it through objects. You know, there's no collision down here, so it won't go off screen. Well, they tell you that. And
What?
Boom goes the dynamite. So yeah, if you hit it against this wall specifically several times, you can then push it off screen. And it's only this wall. I know it's only this wall because I had to check all of them. Alright, a couple more. Let me use this one for. So, spoiler alert, this is Plague Knight God mode, so don't be alarmed if this looks much different from what I was just doing.
No, this looks all normal.
So I gotta play through a bit. I gotta play through this whole level, actually, to show a couple of things off.
I love God mode. Is there any, like, reason it makes your sprite bigger, too? Like,
Oh, all the sprites of the items? Oh, just fun.
well, and is
Like-
Plague Knight not bigger?
No, his sprite is the same size right now. There is a
Okay.
code that does that, too.
I just love the skip and the step as he walks around.
Oh, oops, I stopped the fish. I'm sorry, fish. Come on. What? What's your problem? What's slowing you down? I should actually stop because you can make this auto-scroller play at like 5% speed if you do that too much.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a fun one to test.
I don't even see you switching the Arcana up top.
Oh, that's just, so when you do God mode, you have Pandemonium Cloak enabled for your bombs. So your bomb
Oh,
choices
okay.
reset every so often.
Okay.
This trick is possible in regular gameplay too, but God mode makes it a little bit easier. There's no blockers in between those rooms, so you can just get up. You can move through those rooms, and then when you hit your next transition, it puts you in that spot.
I'll never get tired of seeing that. Just seeing everything blow up.
It's just so good.
All right, here's where the fun begins. Let's see. I want to. Yeah, this is right. All right.
So
I
this
thought
Arcana
this
is normally
guy
supposed to make you speed along the ground.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm moving much slower than normal. Hi, Treasure Knight. Bye, Treasure Knight. Dun 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 dun
What?
dun 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 dun.
Just what? What? Remember, folks, this is what happens when you moonwalk.
I actually need to get up into this room. Alright, well, that did not work out the way I wanted. It's okay, I can fix this. There we go, okay. Now I'm going to go back. And if I'm lucky, Treasure Knight will actually be out of the room he's normally in. We're going to find out. Please go up into this. Hello?
What? I love that we're still getting the boss music.
I didn't want to say anything because I think Munch actually showed me this before, but it's so good.
I have not seen this.
Alright, unfortunately Treasure Knight did not do what I wanted, but I can still damage him a little bit.
It's a boss kill. You clap for those.
Perfectly normal gameplay. There is nothing wrong here.
No.
As intended.
Alright, well, that'll do it for the glitch showcase. How are we at on the Troupple King?
Let's just check with the host real quick. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be able to show off that dance today.
How short are we?
We are, I believe, well, actually, okay, we just got a $100 donation from Pope Tato that says Runner's Choice. So if you put it towards that, Muncha, then we would actually be
I mean, that is my choice.
$311.60 short.
I'll do it.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
see it happen.
We'll give it just a moment here.
It'll be right after I'm off camera, of course.
Okay, I'll just go into the level and do it.
I'm not joking, I will.
Should be this one, yeah. All right. Everyone ready? Yeah. All right.
Woo!
Bust a move.
So graceful.
And that's how it's done. Thanks, everybody. That'll be it for us.
Thank you, Gedrith, for making it happen at the end, and thank you everybody else who donated to that incentive. It's awesome.